You ever been on the couch and you're too tired to get up, and at the same time you can't go to sleep? Both can be true at the same time. And you can have both these feelings throughout your day, like you've got nothing left and somehow you're still on. It can happen when you're at home, in the kitchen, at the dinner table, at work. Anytime during the day, there can be these competing energies that work against each other, and they keep you in that braced state we talked about last week. Last week I said I'd show you 4 signs that your body has been running hot for years, and it has to do with these competing energies. And there's one of these 4 that you can miss easily because it doesn't look like stress. It looks like a personality trait, but it's not. So let's not turn this into a checklist. Let's just see what you recognize. All right, first, the 4 are being tired, wired, low libido, and having a short fuse. So the first one, tired. You can sleep for 7 or 8 hours, get up, and somehow that sleep hasn't reached you. It hasn't really done you any good. And if someone says, go lie down right now and sleep for an hour, you probably couldn't. You just lie there, probably with thoughts of the day or last week spinning through your mind. Then sometime in the afternoon, when you start doing your coffee calculation, how much you have had, can you have another one? How about a double, triple? Is it too late? When you go through that, that just adds to these competing energies inside you. And the consequence is it actually makes you more tired. So what I'd pay attention to isn't that simply you're tired, it's that these things that should help you don't seem to hold. You sleep more, you go to bed earlier, you do the things that ought to help you recharge, but they're not working. You organize your daily routine more, and still, there it is. And that's worth noticing. Because remember, these 4 things, being tired, wired, having low sex drive, and a short fuse, are actually part of one system. And when you regulate that system, your nervous system, it can change all of them. So today what I'm going to share with you is actually a practice that you can jump into at any time, and it's going to start to move the needle. All right, number 2, wired. Now this is the one that I told you about, that it masquerades as a personality trait, but it's not that at all, and it just leaves you being depleted and stressed. Now, wired has many aspects to it, but I'm talking about that being wound tight, kind of a false energy that you keep pushing through that served you well in the past. It's that gear that's actually built a lot of your life. Being able to switch on, carry a lot, having a large burden, responsibilities, staying clear even when things get difficult, and being able to move when other people stop. That's actually a capacity, but when it moves into being wired too tight and wound up, again, it saps your energy and it leaves you competing within yourself. So the good parts of that energy that's helped you build your life, I'm not going to tell you that it's somehow the enemy. It isn't. And that you should somehow soften it up or turn it down. The idea here is to understand it, to recognize it, and to channel it. So here's what I want you to notice. Let's say it's 10 o'clock at night. You should be coming down, getting ready so that you can recharge and having a good night's sleep, but that energy is just still running at a high throttle. So you can never really come down and get the sleep and energy recharge that you need. So let's look underneath it, not at the story, at your body. That same gear that has been so effective for you has now become difficult to put down at night. And when you stay in that gear long enough, night after night, year after year, it doesn't feel like a gear anymore, something that's serving you. It feels like you. And that's a part you can really miss, because no one thinks, I've got too much drive, I've got too much energy, I'm too switched on. We love that energy, that feeling, but when that's the only gear you're in, it starts to not serve you anymore. You might think, well, this is just how I am, this is who I am. But here's the question. Can you stop? Not when you're on holiday, not after 2 or 3 drinks, not when you're finally exhausted yourself. Just on an ordinary day, a Wednesday evening, nothing wrong. Can you sit down for 10 minutes and actually come down and just be? Just notice what happens inside you when I ask that. Because a gear you can put down is a tool, it's good. A gear you can't put down starts running you. And you can be strong, capable, successful, respected, and know exactly what I'm talking about. In fact, most men do. All right, third one, low libido. I don't mean performance, I mean wanting it. At some point, you might notice the desire just isn't arriving the same way, and it might not be dramatic. It just isn't there as much. Or you don't think about it, or you feel like something's off, and you realize it's been a while since you've really had that desire. Men don't talk about this much, so I'm talking about it. And I'm not going to pretend there's one explanation. It's a multifactorial thing. But at the same time, the shift within your primary system, your nervous system, can change everything, including your sex drive. And there's a lot in it. There's sleep, there's your health, there's medication, there's what's happening between you and your partner, how you feel about yourself, inside yourself, in your body, a lot of things. But living braced, tired and wired, switched on all the time with those competing energies belongs in this conversation too. And remember, the things that we're going to practice that help to shift and move the nervous system can change everything, including your sex drive. All right, the fourth one, having a short fuse. You know what I'm talking about, and it's not that you're an angry man, you're not. You can remember that there was a time before that fuse was short. Whenever something happened, there was a little space before you responded. There was a beat, a breath, time for you to feel and just sense how you want to respond. But lately, it feels like there's no time. The response just flies out of you before you've had any time to consider it. And after it comes out, you can almost hear yourself and you think, damn, that response was way bigger than it needed to be. And you know it immediately. The thing was small, but your response wasn't. But here's another thing to notice, even more important. When that moment is over, notice the state your body is still in. You're done with the argument, let's say. You're done with the irritation, the thing that bugged you. But 5, 10, 20 minutes later that evening, there's still that energy running inside you. So, tired, wired, low libido, and a short fuse. Don't decide what they mean. Just notice them. Notice whether they come together in your life, whether they're connected. When you sleep badly, what happens to your patience? What happens to your desire, your sex drive? When you're feeling strong and clear, does more than one of these things change? How does it change? Pay attention to that and see if you can notice when one or more of them started, how they change, and what makes them shift in one direction or the other. There's no right or wrong answer. It's just being aware, because awareness is the capacity that helps you tap into your nervous system and move it in the direction that best serves you. And I'm not talking about you noticing or becoming aware so that you can fix something. I'm talking about an awareness in your body that you can feel and sense. So let's do something together right now so you can feel that shift in your body. We're going to use breath and the sound of your voice. This is something I've taught to thousands of people all over the world. And it's powerful because sound and breath immediately connect and move your nervous system from that braced state into one of strong but relaxed. So just follow along with me. Very simple. There's no right sound to make, wrong sound to make. We're going to do it on the sound ah and. So ah is just with your mouth open naturally. Ah. And is just a humming sound with your lips closed. And we're going to go from ah to And it can be on any sound at all that comes out. All right, you can close your eyes, leave them open as you like. Before you take a breath in, I want you to first get all your air out. And then big breath in. Follow along and make this sound. As long as you can. If it's shorter, that's fine. Longer is fine. Again, pushing the air out. Deep breath in. One more time. Last time. Now just breathe normally. Don't do anything. Just notice your jaw, your face, your forehead, your shoulders, your breath, where you felt that sound in your chest, your throat, your face, your belly, where. Just notice whether anything feels different, even slightly, that's all. I'm not going to tell you what to feel or what happened. You were there, you know. And if you didn't notice much, that's fine too. And feel free to do it again. The point is awareness, to notice what you feel in your body. There's nothing to understand, to get right, or to manufacture. It's just about using your voice, your breath, and getting in touch with the awareness of your body. And notice, this wasn't a performance. There was nothing we were trying to do right, to do good, to achieve any specific goal other than use what is most natural and innate in you, your voice, your breath, your body, your awareness. Just noticing that. That's the win. Now, a few breaths, a few sounds don't undo years of being braced in a state, but they are a powerful beginning. And especially if it's something new for you, I encourage you to keep trying it out. Because I'm not telling you anything here. I'm simply showing you another direction. Because if being tired, wired, having low desire, or a short fuse are connected in your life, then going after them separately isn't the only option or the best option. You can also work with the state underneath them. And one of the things you can train is coming down, not collapsing or becoming passive, but becoming aware, simply noticing and engaging yourself with your sound and breath. And when you simply start to notice, you immediately start to become unbraced and more free, being able to stay strong without being switched on all the time. A lot of us have spent years training the other direction, pushing, focusing, holding it, keep going, right? Keeping that gear at a high throttle. And one positive outcome is that it builds discipline. Remember, discipline isn't the problem. It served you well. The thing we're doing here is learning where to point it by working with that system underneath that state of being braced. So to take it further, I've made a free audio, a 3-minute calm and clarity reset. The link's in the description or in the comments below. You can use it throughout your day. One more thing. There's a much bigger question underneath what we just did. Why sound? Why can something you hear or something you make with your own voice and breath change what you feel so dramatically in your body? Why do different kinds of sound affect us differently? That's what I've spent the last 3 decades exploring and practicing and teaching. For now, just watch yourself this week. Not to fix anything, just watch. Be aware. See whether those 4 things really are 4 separate things, and see how that underlying state can shift them. Remember, you can stop forcing and start tuning. I'll see you next week.